Hi everyone, welcome to Assist Tech Hub. In this video, we will go step by step and learn complete debugging in IntelliJ, starting from the basic to advanced with an real-time example as well in the Spring Boot. Lot of scenarios we can cover. So, debugging is one of the most important skills for any Java developer. We'll cover how breakpoints work, how to use step into, step over, and resume correctly, how to debug complex service logic as well. So debugging means running our program step by step to see how the code executing. Also debug help us understand the behavior of the code or the functionality of that code base. So we can understand by by running our application in debug mode. Okay. So So we have if we can run our application directly there will be two mode, right? In run mode and debug mode. In run mode, codes execute completely and gives us the result. There is no control with us to see how the code works internally. But in debug mode, code pauses wherever we want to know the behavior of the code. Okay. So how it will be happen? Like we have to put the breakpoints in somewhere we want the flow to execute, not execute, we want to know that, right? So there we want to put the breakpoints, so that time the execution will be pause there or stop pause there, so that we can understand the flow of the code or the any variable values, those things we can see. Okay, so let's go through an example now. Okay, so if you see here, I have an API get order. Okay, get order and process order. If I can go to process order, there will be multiple methods: validate order, then find by id order. Okay, method is there, then check balance, process payment, calculate discount. These three four methods are there, right, to execute. For example, I want to understand how the validate order is working. Okay, either it is giving true or false, or it will be written false. Those things we have to understand. Okay. Yeah. Now if you see here, if we want to run our application as a debug mode, there will be two options, right? If I can right click in our main application main class, there will be two options. Okay, debug spring boot application, run. If I can run this application directly, there will be no control with us in this application. Or if I can hit this API, we can get the result directly. Okay, let's hit from the postman that. Okay, let's do side by side. See, now I'm running in run mode directly. If you see directly, I got the result. Okay, put the side by side so that it will be. Now, if you see, we got directly the result, right? But let's run our application in debug mode. Let's stop it. If you see in IntelliJ, this option debug mode. Okay, and this is directly our run application. Okay, see, let's run in debug mode. Okay, application has started. See, it's not started yet. Okay, you see now it is started the application. Okay, we got directly. We are running in debug mode, but there will be no breakpoints here to stop or pause the execution in there, right? So the breakpoint nothing but if we can double click in the line numbers, right, in IDE. If I want to put the breakpoints here, get order, right? Place order, process order method. Okay. Here I want to, there will be no breakpoint, so it will be not pause here. So let me put the breakpoint in the first line of the method. Okay. Now let me hit again. And see, now it's the pause here, right? So here now there will be a method validate order. If I can click here, validate method. Okay, order ID less than 0, then it will throw some exception. Okay. Now if I want to no, if I am sure like okay, this validate order method is executes perfectly, so I don't need to debug this one. So I can go to next line into 57 or this line of code. So that time what I will be use, I can directly use F8. So it will go here directly, right? So it didn't went inside the validate order method. Okay, and there is no breakpoint inside the validate order method as well. That's why it directly move to the line, the cursor will be moved to the next line. Okay, now if I can press F8 again, it will be go line by line execution. Okay, now see. Okay, now complete the debug. Okay, it is going line by line. Okay, now we got the response. Okay, now you got to know like when to use F8, right? If you don't want this method to see what was the result, or we are sure this method is executing perfectly, so no need, right? Okay, then we can use the F8. Now let's hit again to know another one. Okay, now if you see in this method I don't have any breakpoint. Okay, but still I want to go inside this method. So that time what shortcut key I have to use? I have to use F7. If you see it, the cursor will be going to a validate order method, right? So now I can see the values. What is the order ID? Okay, order ID less than 0, no, right? So it came out. Okay, now so this is the use of the F7. Okay, this is the use of F7. So F7 what will be happen? It will be go to next internal logic of that method. If I can press F7 here, it will be go. See, it is going right. Find by ID, and if you see the color has changed here, right? Now let me press F7 again. Okay. Now if you see the execution has completed here. It went inside, and I press F9 so that it will be complete that. So there will be no next breakpoint. So it will complete the execution. Okay. Now let me hit again. Now, if I can put another breakpoint here and will be use F8, so it will come to here because F8 will be executing the next line, right? If the method call inside the method, if there is no breakpoint, then it will be execute that line. Okay. Now, if you see here, multiple methods we are calling, right? Now, if I can press F7, so first it is calling check balance, then it is process payment. Now I don't have any breakpoints in the check balance, right? So it will be, if I can press F7, it will go to check balance. Okay. Now I can come out. I can press F7 again. It will go to process payment. Correct. Now this is the use of F7. Okay. Now the execution has completed and response also came. Now hit again one more time to see another. Okay. Another function. Okay. Now here one breakpoint is there. I don't want to wait to execute one by one or line by line these three lines, right? These three method calls or anything. I want to directly see the return value, what will be this order ID, payment status, and final amount. I want to see. So directly I can press F9. So F9 means it will be the cursor will be go to next breakpoint. See, it will come validate order, right? Now it is came. So these lines it is executed internally and it came to the next breakpoint. F9 means it will be move the cursor or the execution line to the next breakpoint. Now I can see here order ID value, right? Payment status, final amount. Okay, those things I can see here. Okay, this is the shortcut F9, F7, F8. Now let me complete this one. Right? It is completed. Now let's evaluate these functions. What is the value and how to change the values in runtime? Sometime you don't want to change here, right? To pass 6, 7, 8. What is the value? 9. Those things order IDs, correct? In okay. Now if you see order ID will be 5. Now F8. Okay, it came here. Now order repository find by ID, correct? Now let me evaluate this function. Okay. So to evaluate this function, either you can go right click, okay, evaluate expression or alt F8. If you see, the line came here. Okay. If I can click on evaluate, we will get the values from the DB. What is the value in the DB? You see. Now let me if I want to see another value, I don't want to like put more time to change the request to pass the another ID, order ID. Let me now order ID is 5. Okay. Now let me pass order ID 6. Okay. Now next evaluate. You see, now I got order ID 6 value. If you see, okay, order ID 6. If you see, order ID 6 we got. So this way we can manipulate our values also at runtime. In runtime, I can change the values directly here, or I can see what is the value by calling this one order repository.find by ID. Okay, or else I can call find all, right? Find all also I can execute so that I can see the values from the DB directly. If you see total size is 6. Okay, if you see all the values order ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I can use that in a evaluate expression method, evaluate expression. So to get the evaluate window, either we can select the line, right click and evaluate expression, or directly alt F8 we can press it and we can type it. So the already this one has initialized order repository. If you see, I'm getting here dot. If some methods are there, okay, because order repository will be extends from JPA repository. So find all. Now I'm getting these values. Okay. If I want to execute some code here also, I can do that. Like find one, find all, dot stream, dot filter, okay, s dot get amount, okay, okay, order ID less than, okay, order ID greater than 3, okay. So then dot collect of to list, okay. Now I want to see how this data will be returning. S dot get order ID greater than 3, right? So how many records will be get? 4, 5, 6, 3 records. Okay, let's see it. Either you can press evaluate here, okay, or control enter. 3 record we got it. So this is nothing but the evaluate the expression. Okay. Now the same thing instead of these shortcuts, we can do it here also. Let me show you. Okay. If you see here, this is okay. If you see step over, step into, then step out, right? Step out means F8, okay? Step into F7, and step over F8, okay? Then here, these two is more important, okay? Mute breakpoints. Now, I got, for example, in some cases, eh, uh, okay, let's execute this one, okay? Now, if you see, I don't want to remove this breakpoint, but I want to mute this one. Now I have muted. Now I have, if you see, resume program, nothing but F9. Okay, it is executed and got the response. Okay, this is nothing but resume. Okay, now if you see here, one more thing, let me enable these breakpoints. Okay, now if you see here also, you can see the values, order ID. Okay, here the order ID value, right? Here it is showing, this is the benefit of IntelliJ. It is showing here, so no need to go to here thread variables, everything. Then now if I can see here, F8, it is coming. Now if you see, order value also came here, right? All the local variables, all the data also it is showing here. Okay. Now let me complete this execution. Okay. Now I want to, there are a lot of breakpoints, right? Sometimes we don't need also. And more importantly, we have to put breakpoints wherever we need, not like randomly every line we can put the breakpoint. That is not recommended way. So we have to, like, for example, I want to see what is the order ID coming. So I can validate order, I can put it so that I can use or I can see the flow or the code execution logic inside the validated order. Then this one, if this is not required at all, I don't want to, I am recommending not to put this breakpoint here, validated order. I want to put directly here, come here and execute the DB logic here directly. Okay. So now if you see here, another shortcut, this one. Okay. This, if you can click this one, you can see all the breakpoints in our application. Okay. This one. See all the breakpoints. All the breakpoints. Okay. Breakpoints. I'm highlighting here. Okay. Let's escape this one. Okay. Now for this one, what is the shortcut? Control Shift F8. Okay, Control Shift F8 press. We can see all the breakpoints at one place, right? So for example, we don't want some of them. Then for your order service Java 57 line number, right? Java 57 line. I want to remove this one. It is removed the breakpoint. Okay. If you want to remove everything, remove everything. All the breakpoints is gone. Now let's see it. Okay. Now we got the response. Okay. So this will be more helpful. All the shortcuts we have covered. Let's summarize this one into one tabular format so that you will be remember. Open that slide. Okay, let me now see. F7 means step into moves execution inside the method being called on the current line, allowing us to debug the internal logic of that method line by line. F8 step over executes the current line of code and moves to the next line without entering any method calls present on that line. Use this when you don't want to see internal method execution. Step over ignores method internals only if there is no breakpoints inside the method call. F9, it will take us to next breakpoint. Okay. Alt F8. It will be open the evaluate expression window, and if we need to execute some logic, writing some sample codes, then we can write in that evaluate expression window as well at runtime. Okay. If we want to modify some variable values, and okay, those things we can use in evaluate. And control shift F8 opens all the breakpoints in one window where we can view or disable, edit or remove all breakpoints at once. So this is useful whenever our application has many breakpoints and we want to manage them easily. Okay. So thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.